Hello there and welcome to this week's Media News with me, Gareth O'Connor. To kick things off, what goes up must indeed come down. Yes indeed, the only thing I can talk about is Apple. Huge rise over 2012, monumental rise some would say. Significant fall. Although I guess a lot of people are doomsaying about this, but really they're still selling an absolute shed load of product. But they do need something new, something big, something game-changing. But I don't think it'll come till the fall. Other things that are going down, Yahoo! On a steady decline pretty much, apart from December, we could say, hey, Christmas, because December 2011 was the same. But since 2010, their quarterly revenue has been pretty steadily declining. It'll be interesting to see if Melissa Mayer can stop this trend. The themes of mobile companies, yes indeed. The IPG-run demo mobile conference was held in Silicon Valley a couple of weeks ago, and there were some big themes that people were talking about. So if you find yourself in a position where you could service one of these, then hats off to you and best of luck. Mobile health. There is a huge amount of activity in this space at the moment. It's mainly focused on changing patient behavior and relationships with doctors and healthcare providers, so you can do everything through smartphones, immediate conversation and contact with people. Obviously they can check your heart rate, pulse rate with different apps on the telephone, but there is loads going on in this space, absolutely loads. Really interesting some of the stuff that's going on. Mobile enterprise was another big thing. Workplaces are indeed being streamlined. No longer do you have to be sat at your desk in your office all the time. Go out, see what's happening in the world. Embrace what is happening in the world. You can do work from anywhere nowadays. People are able to work. I guess it's also the downside of this is you're always reachable on your mobile telephone, and therefore pretty much working 24/7. Mobile 2.0, yes indeed, the mobile internet is getting so much better. When you look at the size of handsets, the quality of screens, the fact that you can now watch video, and vast amounts of people are watching video. I think in mobile data, nearly 50% of it is video. Mobile platforms, there's a real focus on security as well as cloud infrastructure at the moment, but security, of course, is the real big thing for mobiles. The real big thing, because people are investing lots of time and money to ensure, particularly when you start thinking about people having all their bank details and bank accounts and be able to pay for stuff all mobile. Huge, big thing. And then social mobile. But it's moving more just from online chatter to actually creating real and measurable values in the offline world. No longer is it just conversation. People are actually being sent to different places. You can pay coupons to go and buy things at different places. People connect with people and events and goings-on in the local environment. So there's a lot more going on in the space. A lot more, but there's some things worth thinking about. Are you doing mobile search? I've spoken about this before. You really should be. And here's some more findings as to why you should be. And if you're not already, shame on you. SurveyMonkey and iAcquire joined forces to determine holistic internet behaviors in a series entitled Search, Social and Mobile Behavior. What did they find? Well, I will tell you. They found out that 70% of mobile searches lead to an action on a website within the hour. That's the thing with mobile, it's not a desktop. People want immediacy. That's what mobile is all about. 40% of mobile searches are conducted while in front of the television. I've said this many times before. If you were doing TV ad or a brand ad, you must have direct links to whatever it is you're pushing or selling on a mobile telephone, mobile device, which means you, of course, must have a mobile optimized site. Very important. You could be losing so many sales because of this. And if you're doing TV, you should have this base covered. A majority of mobile searches occur on smartphones. The majority, should I say. Versus tablets. 60% of users search on their phone and 40% of users search via a tablet. Around 40% of users will opt for a different website if they search for a site and their website is not mobile friendly. 40%! Getting people to search for your brand is difficult enough. Losing 40% of those who do because you don't have an mobile optimized site is madness. Anyway, what you should go and do now. Ensure your website is mobile optimized. If you need help with this, please speak to us. Once that's done, switch on mobile search. You should all be doing Google search on a desktop. Please switch it on mobile. Very simple to do. And you're welcome. Want some more proof? I shall give you some more proof. Web traffic by device. Desktop still accounts for 80% of web traffic. Phone is now 14% and tablet is 5%. There's 20% there of traffic. So if you're not playing in the space, you're losing potentially 20% of traffic. Windows on desktop, yep, still leads the way. Apple, yep, still leads the way. When you get to tablets, of course, Apple still has a line, the majority share, 95% of the share there. And of course, this is looking at American stats. The stats here are slightly different. But Apple, people talk about Apple and how they're struggling. There's still 72% of mobile traffic in the US comes from Apple. Not really struggling, shall we say. People still make a fuss about desktops and how everything's got to be desktop down, make sure ads are all ready for desktop, make sure the web is tackled. But when you look at the number of web-enabled devices in use, there are now more phones in use than desktops. But yet people make more fuss about making sure everything works for the desktop. You've got to start thinking, people, about mobile. Come on. Folks are buying stuff too. 40% increase when you look at Black Friday in the States. If you look at 2012 versus 2011, 40% increase. 40%. Mobile payment volume grew in the same period 190%. PayPal reported 190% increase. Number of people shopping via mobile, 166% increase. These are all things, if you're looking, if your boss says to you, oh, we've got to increase sales by 5%. There is a massive opportunity here for you to do this. Buying stuff is moving up the charts too. When you look at time spent on mobile devices, shopping and classifieds now comes in at number 4 on things that people do on their mobile. And folks are really buying lots of stuff. If you look at the amount of stuff people are buying, it increased. 18% of e-commerce, 80% of commerce in the States this year will be m-commerce, so mobile commerce. 18%. You can see we're a little bit behind, so we're probably going to be around 11% this year, you would say, in New Zealand, but still, that's 11%. Your boss says to you, hey, we need to increase sales by 5%. That's where you'll find them. But don't forget about the experience, please. It's like any website, experience has to be good. The mobile experience, website abandonment threshold by device. On a desktop, 3 seconds. If your site is slow, clunky, the experience is bad, people will leave in 3 seconds. On a mobile, you get slightly longer, but it's only 5. And when you are on a mobile, make sure your locations of your stores are there. Always. And another thing, make the experience good, because people will not normally buy. Only 22% of people will buy on the first app session. Most people, 44%, will need to go to the app 10 times before they make a purchase from said app. So the experience has got to be good. Another sign that minutes on your mobile plan may not matter. Well, if anything's to go by, Facebook, of course, on their messenger service, and of course, if you're now using Facebook Home, and you get free voice over internet calling on Android telephones now. They already offer this service on Apple, and it's now in 23 countries. I tried to find out if it was available in New Zealand, but I couldn't. But we do have Messenger here, obviously, so worth checking out. If you're watching this from somewhere else, probably don't need to use your minutes anymore. In other Facebook news, you could say Sheryl Sandberg news, but hey, she's the COO of Facebook, so I'm going to go with Facebook news. She said in a recent talk that she gave that she said mobile is important, if not more important to marketers than TV is. A lot of people would agree with her, a lot of people would disagree with her, of course. But what she went on to say is the size of the mobile phone audience makes it a mass medium with significant importance for marketers. The statement was made at a time when Facebook, of course, is looking to significantly ramp up its mobile advertising business, and its user base continues to migrate to smartphones, but still, there is a massive audience to be found on mobile, and consumers are ready to be engaged in this space. ThingLink news, you could also say this is Facebook news, but ThingLink, which I spoke about last week, it's a site basically where you can go and it will allow you to make images far richer and greater experience. certainly worth doing. A lot of publishers, of course, are using this, and advertisers are now using this. But now it integrates with Facebook, and you can now publish, lots of stuff from the ThingLink suite into Timeline. So it makes your post and timeline a far sight more engaging. So worth thinking about if you're trying to connect with people on Facebook. It's important. Its importance cannot be underestimated. Again, going back to mobile, but Eric Schmidt, very, very smart man, he said, if you do not have a mobile strategy, you do not have a strategy at all. So again, all this talk about mobile, all things that are going on about mobile, you need to remember the importance of mobile and ensure that you are now thinking about it. And this more important than TV thing, it's not complete madness. If you think of the rise of no TV households as anything to go by. Now, I don't mean these people may still have TV sets, but they're not connected to an aerial cable or dish. It's only connected to the web. Now, in the States, in 2007, there were 2 million people who were classed as no TV individuals. That number now stands at over 5 million people. So again, it's getting to that point now where people are not sticking around watching scheduled TV where your ads are being placed. So again, mobile may well become more important than television. Foursquare turns 4 and passes 3.5 billion check-ins. That's up to you. Version 6.0 has just come out. And I'm beginning to see the point of this. At first, I wasn't so sure, but now, of course, you can still do the usual things of checking out what's going on in your local area, what your friends are doing, and when you're searching for a restaurant, you can look at recommendations from your friends. But it now goes a step further that you can actually just search for things in a local area, whether your friends are there or not, and you can see what other people have reviewed for certain restaurants. So if you are, say, in Washington Square Park in New York, and you're looking for a burger joint or a burrito place, you can start to see what other people have said, and also what your friends have said. Kind of a useful tool. Particularly being that this now covers off most of the places in the world, it's pretty handy for those who are maybe new to a certain area. If you want to copy someone, Google is always a good original. Twitter looks to emulate Google with keyword ad targeting. Twitter are doing an awful lot now and rolling out a lot more marketing options. But keyword targeting is certainly a good one. You can certainly get more targeted to people. And in NZ, I would say it really is it's time to start paying attention to Twitter. There's a lot of opportunity there, and of course, over 200,000 users. Most of them are using it weekly, daily. And of course, you could say this is the influencers mostly. A lot of influencers, of course, are using Twitter, so a good audience to hook into. BuzzFeed is a new thing for brands. BuzzFeed's been around for quite a while now, but really what it does, it just talks about what things on the web are creating most buzz, what things are being shared the most, so that you can obviously pass these things along to your friends. But brands are now starting to use BuzzFeed. Virgin Mobile is one example, but again, it's another thing where people are obviously looking for people who can curate really interesting stuff on the internet. So again, from a brand point of view, if you're creating fun, entertaining, interesting, honest pieces of content that people can enjoy and then share, it's people spending time with your brand and you're the facilitator of good content. So hey, it's a nice idea. More bad news for daily deal sites, I'm afraid. Living Social, which has been struggling greatly lately, I must say. It got hacked. And 50 million details have been taken. Luckily, though, no bank details, but still. Goes to show cybercrime and its ever-growing threat. Next time a client says to you, I want to go viral, tell them about this little campaign. You may remember this, Evian's Roller Babies. It holds the official Guinness World Record for most viral video of all time for a piece of branded content. The company released a follow-up last Friday, which sticks with the same baby theme, and it's already amassed 13 million views on YouTube. Pretty good, right, you would say. But viral success is not the same as sales success. In the year Evian Roller Babies went viral, it attracted over 50 million views. Yet the brand lost market share and sales dropped 25%. Just worth thinking about. You work from DDB Paris, and I kind of like this work. You got to look at it closely. I don't like it. Granted, there's an extremely beautiful girl in there. But it's a very nice ad, and I'm actually amazed by this when I saw this. In its fine print, it says over 3 million people in France will regrettably keep on thinking that this is an ad for a bikini. Wowzers. You just wouldn't think that, but over 3 million people in France can't read. Crazy, but this is an ad they've done, but I kind of like that. They do say magazines are all going online, and Microsoft added one, Forbes, will help you get online. I was wondering when I'd see this for the first time, so hats off to Microsoft for doing this. But they've done an ad inside Forbes that is a Wi-Fi hotspot. Love it. Love it. Well done. A salute to a legend. Yes, indeed. Hats off to you, sir. The Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity has named advertising legend and TBWA man Lee Cloud recipient of 2013 Lion of St. Mark. Here's a couple of things from the great man worth thinking about. There's many things he said, but here's a couple.
It's now obvious what has probably always been true, but I think we've done it a number of times. The realization that everything a brand does is an ad. It's not just restricted to a television commercial or a billboard, although those are still very powerful mediums, but everything that a brand puts out into the culture has an audience, and that's everything from how you find them in the stores to whether they build their own stores, as one of our clients did because he hated the stores that we were selling our products in, to the packaging, to how they act and react and interact online. All of these things, the behavior of a brand in total, is how brands add up to someone or something that the audience wants to spend time with. Many clients are very naive about what they expect from the new media forms that exist out there. Some of them think it's going to replace conventional advertising messages. Some of them think it's a cheaper way for them to have conversations about their brand with their consumer. Many of them think it's not the province of an advertising agency to think in terms of this new interactive, audience is king world. I believe that a brand that articulates itself well and interestingly and creatively and has something to say will create all the conversation they possibly want.
Worth noting. Good points, very good points. Kids are great. Yes, they are.
In basketball, is it better to be a fast player or a slow player?
Fast!
So what would your nickname be?
It would be Fasty, because you're really fast when you go.
What about you?
Nikki Flash,
Nikki Flash. Why Nikki?
because it rhymes with Flash. Close.
Yeah, close.
It's not complicated. Faster is better. And AT&T is the nation's fastest 4G LTE network
I like
for
that.
iPhone 5.
And here's another one. Why not?
Is saving money better than not saving money?
Yeah!
Okay, if you save enough money, what would you do with it?
I would buy an island made out of candy.
An island made out of candy.
It would be like sand full of sugar.
Sand full of sugar.
The water can be made out of like soda. When you shower, it can be made out of like hot fudge.
Ooh.
What about the animals? What would they be made out of?
I'm assuming they'd be made out of candy.
It's not complicated. Saving is better. Switch to AT&T, and your family can save up to $100 a month with Mobile Share.
See, a bit of fun. They do a retail ad in there too. And here's another
So do you
one.
guys think being fast is better than being slow?
Yeah! It's better to be fast, to not be bitten by a werewolf, and then you'll be turned into one, and you'll have to stay in, and then you'll have to get shaved because it'll be too hot, and then you're like, which means I wish I was back to a human.
What?
It's not complicated. Faster is better. And AT&T is the nation's fastest 4G
That's
LTE
good.
network
We've got a lot
for
of time for
iPhone
that.
5.
A different approach to selling something. People always say when you sell something, show what it is you're selling. No, good friends. No. Don't show the product at all is a new approach by this advertiser. gets the point across without beautifully shot. I want to look like a model. Yes, indeed I do. But this is a nice piece of work coming out of Brazil for star models, which basically kind of highlights the point of, when clothes are designed, this is kind of stereotypical design a fashion designer will do on the left. And they've actually found some girls who unfortunately mirror what it is to look like a model. But again, of course, this is, you're not a sketch, say no to anorexia. It's a pretty powerful campaign. But it does go to show, the lengths that some people will go to think that they need to look this way, which of course they don't. Curves are good. Here's another one. You would hope for some cases this would, turn some people away from trying to emulate the look of emancipated individuals. And here's another one. It's, that's quite harrowing. But certainly, if you find yourself in this position, there's definitely people who can help. And hopefully this will make a difference for some people. There's been a lot of talk, mostly good, I must say, but hats off. I like this. And there's been a lot of talk about it recently. This is a new campaign for Dove, and it's been watched over 34 million times on YouTube. I'm going to leave this with you this week, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
I'm a forensic artist. Worked for the San Jose Police Department from 1995 to 2011.
I showed up to a place I'd never been, and there was a guy with a drafting board.
We couldn't see them, they couldn't see us.
Tell me about your hair.
I didn't know what he was doing, but then I could tell after several questions that he was drawing me.
Tell me about your chin.
It kind of protrudes a little bit, especially when I smile.
Your jaw.
My mom told me I had a big jaw.
What would be your most prominent feature?
Kind of have a fat, rounder face.
The older I've gotten, the more freckles I've gotten.
I would say I have a pretty big forehead.
Once I get a sketch, I say thank you very much, and then they leave. I don't see them.
All I had been told before the sketch was to get friendly with this other woman, Chloe.
Today I'm going to ask you some questions about a person you met earlier, and I'm going to ask you some general questions about their face.
She was thin, so you could see her cheekbones. And her chin, it was a nice, thin chin.
She had nice eyes. They lit up when she spoke.
Cute nose.
She had blue eyes, very nice blue eyes.
So here we are. This is the sketch that you helped me create, and that's a sketch that somebody described of you.
So yeah, that's...
She looks closed off and fatter. Sadder, too. The second one looks more open, friendly, and happy.
I should be more grateful of my natural beauty. It impacts the choices and the friends that we make, the jobs we apply for, how we treat our children. It impacts everything. It couldn't be more critical to your happiness.
Do you think you're more beautiful than you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
We spend a lot of time as women analyzing and trying to fix the things that aren't quite right. And we should spend more time appreciating the things that we do like.